Gifts have made room for her. My name is Yvonne Lewis Shelton, and you're watching Urban Report. And welcome to Urban Report. My guest today is Dr. Dona Cooper-Dockery, physician, missionary, author, and founder of the Cooper Wellness Center. Welcome to Urban Report.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. May I call you Doc?
Doc is great.
Great. So before we talk about the Cooper Wellness Center, I want to talk about you and your journey and how you got to where you are. So let's talk about your journey. Where are you from?
I'm from Jamaica. The western part of Jamaica.
Ah, Jamaica's beautiful.
Thank you.
I've been there more than once. It's a paradise.
Lovely place.
Yes, indeed. So you were raised in Jamaica? Mm-hmm. And at what point did you think you wanted to be a physician?
So I was raised with my grandparents, thanks to them. And then my mother, I wanted to be a nurse or a lab tech, and my mother told me that my father wanted me to be a doctor. So then I started thinking of becoming a doctor. And then something happened when I was younger. My church elder died. I was right at his bedside when he died in the hospital. I was very upset. I said, this shouldn't have happened. Why did he die? And then I said, you know what? I'm going to become a doctor to stop this.
Oh.
And that's where my journey began.
Really? Mm-hmm. So you decided at that was a pivotal point.
Oh, absolutely.
And so what did you do after that? Did you decide to go on to medical school in Jamaica?
Well, then I was young. So, of course, I went through our Adventist school system. I went to high school. Then I went to Westerners College, now Northern Caribbean University. Then I went to Montemorelos. And then from Montemorelos, I did my 7 years there. I went back to Jamaica, worked for a year, went back to Mexico, worked for a year, and then I went to New York to do my residency in internal medicine. And now I have been in the Rio Grande Valley for the last 22 years.
Wow, that's amazing. What have you found to be some of the main challenges that you've been confronted with on this journey with wellness?
What I see my patients, even though I give the best drugs, the best care, they continue to have complications, whether it's renal failure or heart disease, and they're on so many drugs. And I realized this is not the way to go. Why don't I empower them to take control and prevent the disease?
Come on.
Rather than treating the complication.
Absolutely.
And that is what I'm enjoying now.
Yes. And that, too, I would imagine, took some pivotal events.
Absolutely.
To change that mindset.
I'll be honest.
Let's talk about it.
I was 25 pounds overweight in 2010. And then in 2011, my area, McAllen Mission, Texas, was the fattest in the United States. So in 2010, 2011, I decided to change my lifestyle. So I began to eat healthier, to sleep more, and just change lifestyle. And I did so well that I decided to give my patients the same remedy. Why not? And I'm enjoying medicine now more than ever.
Yes.
So I spend a lot of my time educating patients.
And this is, I think, a key because, well, you've said a few things here. Number one, you wanted to empower your patients. And you do that by giving them information.
That's right.
But not only did you give them information, you changed as well.
Absolutely.
So they could look at you and say, well, it worked for my doctor. Because I've seen some doctors that are way overweight.
Absolutely.
And they're trying to tell people how to lose weight. And it's kind of like, well, you try it first.
Be the example
and then
first.
Let me know, right?
You know?
So you empowered them with information, you changed your lifestyle, and you showed them through example how it worked. And then I'm sure from that, and you tell me if I'm right or not, when they began to implement these things, they saw changes in their numbers.
Absolutely. Significant health miracles, I would call them.
Let's talk about some of those.
All righty.
What's happened?
So one day, a patient walked in with his mother, 25 years old, mother's a nurse. He was 400 pounds. Mother felt guilty. My son is 400 pounds. Oh, he's diabetic. He has hypertension. And I'm a nurse.
And how old was he?
25. Yes. So we sat together, all three of us, and we decided to use lifestyle rather than drugs.
Mm-hmm.
He was in for the challenge. He lost 90 pounds.
Wow.
He changed his healthcare destiny. Diabetes became controlled, blood pressure better controlled, cholesterol controlled, and he was just a happier person. And I have several of that.
I think that what you're doing, if more physicians would get involved in lifestyle change and less pharmaceuticals, it could change the health outcome.
Absolutely.
And so what you did was you kind of gave him a challenge. He rose to the challenge.
Absolutely.
Lost 90 pounds.
90 pounds.
He must feel like a totally new person.
Absolutely.
It must look like a totally new person.
And he felt, and of course the mother was very happy.
Yes, yes.
And I have several of the same stories.
Yes. Well, what's happening is you're getting to the root cause. You're not treating symptoms.
No.
You're getting to the root cause. And a lot of times, I think, well, I used to have a practice in Dallas. And
oh, you're a physician too?
I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I was board certified in traditional Chinese medicine.
Very good.
But God took me out of the Chinese medicine thing because of the acupuncture and all that. But I used to recommend herbs and lifestyle change as a naturopath. And some people are open and they're ready to accept the challenge, and other people are like, you know what? I'm not going to give up my pick something, fried chicken or my coffee or my sodas, my cakes and cookies. I'm not going to give that up. So, you know, if they weren't up for a lifestyle change, then I couldn't really help because that's what I was equipped to do. And so, but you, as a physician, you could prescribe drugs, pharmaceuticals, or you could teach lifestyle change, and you chose the latter.
Exactly.
And you saw great results.
Totally, totally.
So you were trained in allopathic medicine.
Absolutely.
At what point did you decide to do integrative medicine? How did you get to a place of realizing that nutrition and exercise and the natural way was a really important thing to integrate into your practice?
You see, I have a friend, Dr. Errol Bryce, who spent many years doing life. Do you know him?
I know Dr. Bryce, yes.
He's my mentor.
Oh,
that is how I
He's a great mentor.
Yes, Dr. Charles Marcel as well. So that is how, listening to these doctors, that I realized I needed to integrate lifestyle medicine in my practice. I have 3 offices. 2 traditional medical practices, and then my lifestyle medicine practice.
And so how long has it been since you started doing lifestyle medicine?
About 8 years.
Okay. Wow. So have you found that you have kind of immersed yourself in it? Are you studying it all the time?
I am totally immersed. I spend a lot of time writing. I have a magazine, Get Healthy, that I publish every quarter. I'm on the radio, on TV locally, 2 TV stations, discussing lifestyle medicine. All my patients, my colleagues know that Dr. Cooper emphasizes nutrition and exercise.
So if you're going to go to Dr. Cooper, be prepared.
Exactly.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
And so in your daily practice, how do you introduce lifestyle to your patients? How does that happen?
So usually my patients who are complex, those that are diabetics, that are not controlled, those that are overweight, those that have chronic diseases, heart disease, I will discuss to them, are you willing to get off medication? Are you willing to use nutrition and exercise, stress management, and spiritual renewal to improve your health? If they are ready for the change, then I introduce them. If they're not ready, it doesn't matter what I do or say, nothing will happen. I'll give you a story.
Good.
Couple weeks ago, a pharmaceutical rep walked into my office and he said to me, "Hey, Dr. Cooper, I lost 30 pounds. I said, "How did you do that?" He said, "I picked up one of your magazine." That's where it began. And my 3-year-old daughter's now asking for kale smoothie. I love to tell the joke.
That's good.
And then a couple of weeks later, he came back. I'm now 50 pounds down. You see? So he was ready for the change. I did not speak to him. He read my magazine. So those patients who are ready for the change, it happened. Another story, another patient walking, "Hey, Dr. Cooper, I lost X amount of weight and I'm going to do surgery. What happened?" Well, sometime in the past you discussed nutrition with me, and that's where it began. So those people who are ready for the change, it just happened.
I think that is key. You can't make someone do.
No.
They have to be ready and willing to do it.
Right, to implement.
To implement,
Right.
to get started. You can motivate, you can, give them the rah-rah, but until they're ready to do it,
Right. Nothing will happen.
nothing will happen.
True.
Nothing will happen. So you have found that through your magazine, through your
TV.
practice. What do you do for stress management? What do you, with your patients? You mentioned stress
I
management.
pray with my
all that.
patients.
Ah.
A lot of time they come in. I can assess. I don't pray with all my patients. I know when they need something beyond. So I pray with my patient. We have Bible studies in the Wellness Center.
Nice.
Right.
Let's talk about that. So is the Wellness Center kind of an evangelistic?
Absolutely. That is the ministry.
Okay.
The ministry arm of my practice.
Oh, I
and
love
that is
it.
why I'm so happy. I mean, I'm totally focused on changing lives for today, but for eternity.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right. And you are in a great position to do that because as people, the health message, of course, is the entering
Powerful.
wedge.
Yes.
So as people get healthier, they want to look to you for other guidance
Exactly.
as well.
They trust you more. And patients will walk into their doctor, they'll open to the doctor.
Right.
I have patients who walk in and say, "Hey, Doctor, can I speak with you?" "Okay, how can I help you?" "Can you pray for my grandson or my son or my daughter that I don't know?" So as physicians, nurses, and healthcare providers, we are placed in a peculiar position to help people not only with their physical health, but social and spiritual health.
That's
and we
right.
need to understand this
That's
because
right.
we're placed here for a reason.
Yes.
The reason is to go tell, preach, and prepare for God's second coming. And we must do so,
See, I
or else
love
he's
that.
not going to come.
That's right. I love the fact that you are looking at the whole person.
Total person.
You're not just impacting health, but you're acknowledging that true health is not just the physical
No.
aspect, but it's the emotional, the social,
And the spiritual. I take a holistic approach to health.
Yes.
Not all my
Yes.
patients are open, 99.99%. I've never asked a prayer with a patient and the patient have said no, never.
Really?
Never.
So you have that sense of for whom you should pray.
Absolutely.
And I believe the Holy Spirit gives
yes,
you that.
He
He
does.
lets you know,
Right.
pray for this one, pray with that
Right.
one.
I had a patient who came to me, new patient. She said, "Oh, I'm in your office because I've told that you pray with your patients." That's the only reason why she came to me.
Wow.
And unfortunately, one day she came, or another patient, and I didn't suggest a prayer. And she went out and she said, "I almost came back because you didn't pray for me today." I said, "Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you just come back to the office?"
She wanted that prayer.
She wanted that prayer. That was her
Yes.
medicine.
Yes, yes, yes. I used to pray with my patients too in
Very
my office
powerful.
in Dallas, and it means something to them.
Absolutely.
It really does. It means a lot to them. So let's say someone comes to the Cooper Wellness Center. Where do you start with them? What is the actual process?
Okay. So first of all, they have to have the desire for the change. And then at the Cooper Wellness Center, it's set up like a lifestyle center. So we have an educational room, a classroom, where we discuss various topics on health. We have a gym, a full gym, with a coach there.
Okay.
Then we have a full teaching kitchen. So they go from the educational to the gym, then they're at the kitchen where we're going to sit, discuss food as medicine, do cooking demonstration, show them how they can change the way they eat using plant-based but healthy, nutritious, and delicious.
That is awesome. And you actually came here to 3ABN and did some cooking programs.
Yes.
Tell us some of the food you cooked.
Okay, so we cook macaroni and cheese without the cheese, without the cholesterol, very tasty.
Got you.
We cooked basmati seasoned brown rice. We made an ice cream that was so delicious without the cholesterol. We made Southwest black bean burger.
Oh, you're making me hungry right now.
We made a meatless meatball. It was just something else, the experience.
So I think that when people find that you can have tasty, healthy foods, some health food tastes so bland and that nobody, it's like, I don't want to eat like that.
That's right.
But if it can be tasty, seasoned well, and similar, not so foreign, but you know, similar, it can really be good.
That's right.
And so you're teaching them how to, when they leave you, they can continue what you're teaching them because you're giving them the skills in the kitchen to continue that.
Right. We're using food as medicine.
Right.
Some patient will walk in and they're hesitant to try the food because it's not what they're accustomed to.
Right.
But after tasting the food, they want the recipe. They usually go with the recipe. Oh, I'm going to make that. Or they send me a message. Hey, I made this. It was delicious. I have patients telling me, hey, I have my entire family on this plant-based nutrition. They don't even know what they're eating.
That's true. That's true.
Because the recipes are so delicious.
Yes, yes. And they start to lose the weight.
Oh, lose the weight, improve their sugar, blood pressure. I had a gentleman who walked in my office recently. He has had hypertension for 30 years on medication.
30 years?
30 years. And he wanted to get off. So he came to my office and asked me if he could get off the drug. I said, sure. Let us put you on a different lifestyle, not a diet now, it's a lifestyle. And in 4 weeks, he got off his medication.
After being on for all of those years?
30 years.
My.
So, of course, he changed his diet. He started to exercise, manage his stress well, you know, pray, have good relationships. It's a whole many factors with this lifestyle changes. And I have so many more patients. A patient of mine, 70 years old, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression, just lost his wife. He was going in and out of the hospital 11 times in 1 year. Oh. I physically went to the emergency room and I said, Mr. So-and-so, I'm going to get you out of this hospital. I want you to come to the Wellness and Disease Prevention Center. I'll put you in a program to keep you out of the hospital, to decrease your medication so you can feel well again. It's going to involve changing the way you eat and exercise. He said to me, Dr. Cooper, I can't get from my bed to my chair. How am I going to exercise? I said, don't worry about it. We work something out. And believe me, he did so well that he got from the bed to the chair to the walker, walker to the cane, and then without the cane.
Come on.
And he was out of the hospital for many, many months. He did so well.
Look at God.
God is wonderful.
If we use the natural remedies and the things that He's given us, we can get well.
Absolutely.
So what a blessing that is. What a blessing.
I must emphasize that there are many places for medication. Not all, you know, patients will be off medication.
Right.
So I practice traditional medicine. So patients who don't want to change lifestyle, they're on drugs.
Right.
Patients who can get off all of their hypertensive medication, then they're on some, you see? So you know, there are different levels.
And I think it's important to acknowledge that. I think it's important to state that we are not telling you to get off of your medication.
Absolutely not.
Do not do that. We're not telling you to do that. What we're saying is that through natural means and under the supervision of a physician like Dr. Cooper-Dockery here, it can happen.
Right.
By the grace of God, it can happen. But we're not saying just stop taking your medication and do the natural thing, because that's irresponsible if you've been on medication for years and years and years and you just up and that's not what the doctor said.
No, no.
So, and I think that's a very important point, because some people will misunderstand.
No, we're not saying that at all.
Get off and not take it.
I'm saying there's hope.
That's right.
Studies have shown that the #1 risk factor for chronic diseases, it's the food you eat. I almost spoke in Spanish, but it's the food you eat.
I didn't know you hablas español.
Sí, claro que sí.
Okay, bueno.
Therefore, if food is a problem, if food is the cause of your problem, then how do you treat it? With food.
With food, exactly.
Right.
But I think all too often we don't make the connection between nutrition and disease status.
Exactly.
We just don't. And we want to eat what we want to eat. Come on, you know, you want to eat what you want to eat.
That's
and
true.
So, but if you can find foods that kind of satisfy that taste craving that you have, as well as it makes you healthy.
That's right. Why not?
It's a win-win.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
Right. So right now my emphasis is teaching patients to use healthier food. Eat more of the good stuff. Eat more of the food that gives you vitamins and antioxidants and nutrients and iron. And eat less of the things that give you cholesterol and sugar and heart disease. Because it's very hard for patients to really change the way they eat.
Yes.
We must be realistic.
Absolutely. Things are culturally determined.
Exactly.
You know, so you just said that you made macaroni and cheese.
Absolutely.
That's a cultural thing, and in many American households and in black community too. Mac and cheese, that's a big deal. But you made a different kind.
Healthier kind.
That's right.
We made meatballs, a healthier kind.
Right, right. And what you're doing now is you're establishing health principles.
Exactly.
So you're saying, okay, instead of eating this way,
why don't we try it this way?
Do this. Do the healthier thing.
Exactly.
Do something. Eat food, not prepackaged, processed things, but food that's going to nourish with vitamins and minerals.
Iron and all this.
Yeah.
Eat food, not too much, and mostly plant. One of my colleagues said that. So you must eat food. Don't overeat, but mostly plant. If the patients or if we can understand that in general, we'll have healthier people,